Futures now, old man.
What it do? Jose and Jmac here with you for the Week 12 debrief. What's going on tonight, dude?
Not much, Jmac. How you been?
Oh man, I've been good. Yeah, man. Week 12 was a good one. I won a ton of my matchups, so that was good news.
Yeah, same here. Pretty much all the leagues that mattered, except actually in the Toclan keeper league that we're in together. I had quite a few people approach me about trying to sell off, or our trade deadline was coming up, and I just kind of decided to stick with it. Ended up being the highest score of the week, and I'm in fifth place. But that league's kind of crazy. I think from fourth or third all the way to like ninth, it's very very tight. So it's going to come down to the last few weeks, but overall, it was a great fantasy week. I think for most people, I think a lot of top stars performed. So it was a complete opposite of last week, at least.
Yeah, man. Tell me about it. I had Jameer Gibbs in a couple of leagues. One of them in this one crazy like Devi league that we do, where the dude, the commish, shout out to him, Banana Splits, out there. But he does like weekly prizes, and this weekly prize was whoever had the best three running back scores on the week, and I had Gibbs in there, and then Kareem Hunt was also in there too. So I won pretty handily. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, man, I don't know. Did you have any Gibbs going?
Oh yeah, I got him in Toclan. I have him in another league where I'm looking like a top contender. I'm trying to get in there for a buy. Um, One of these first guys we're going to talk about is a decent hurt to my depth, at least in terms of injuries. When we're talking about Alvin Kamara on that team, but
Mm.
yeah, how did you got a lot of Kamara, Devin Neal? How are you feeling with that
Yeah,
injury?
I have a little bit of Kamara, and not even because I necessarily like want him on my teams. It just like he was like add-ins and deals, and I was like whatever. And most of the leagues, they're best ball leagues anyway. So I mean, it is what it is, and he hit my lineup a few times. So it wasn't all for there was some use to it, but it just sucks when you have those injuries hit on those best ball rosters like that. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do with them. It's a 10 team league, and people are just very against age in that league. So I'm probably just going to be stuck with them. And I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, Devin Neal, I don't have a ton of him either. And I have him in one best ball league. And I don't know. Like it wasn't inspiring that Taysom Hill got more. I think he got more rushes than him, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of wait and see, I guess. But I don't feel great about Devin
Yeah,
Neal.
yeah, I think I had him in one league, and I dropped him like last week or 2 weeks ago, and then
Ouch.
obviously that's when Kamara goes down. But yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting. I don't know if he's the type of guy that is going to demand any sort of role like Kamara had. So it might just be one of those you're not very happy to be starting, the backup player. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, what else we got? What other players do you want to hit
Yeah,
up?
man. This one hurts a lot. I think probably more so than Kamara, but Baker Mayfield with an ACL sprain. It's not, or no, sorry, not an ACL, and shoulder shoulder ligament sprain. I don't know where I'm going with it. It's
Something
something,
like that. Yeah, it's
something
something
like
in
that.
the shoulder region. Yeah.
AC, that's what it is. AC
Okay.
joint sprain. It sounds like it's mild, and he might even be able to come back this week, but it really sucked for Egbuka and every other pass catcher on that field when who was it? Teddy Bridgewater coming
Yeah.
out. I mean, it was the Rams defense, and they're really good. So I don't know what to make of it, but I'm not optimistic on it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I think that was the same thing that like CD had all the way through last year, and every time he took a hit, it was just like he could barely get up. It's from what most of the stuff I've heard like those type of injuries are pain management until they can get like worse. So I don't know. Baker seems like a dog to try to play through it, but that O line is not, necessarily always doing him a lot of favors. So yeah, I mean, Bridgewater was completely underwhelming. I was actually at that game live, and it was as a neutral fan, it was a little sad. We were kind of going in there hoping we got a 30, 20 something, 50-point game, but it was just the Rams completely destroying the Bucks and not really letting them do anything. So yeah, man, I mean, maybe Bridgewater could be serviceable with a week's worth of practice, but it's definitely put a damper on anybody on that team. The long-awaited Bucky return, I think, takes a pretty big hit there. Egbuka rest of season. I mean, he kind of was already somewhat touchdown dependent. I mean, we kind of talked about it for a lot of the season, at least in the early parts. Now that he hasn't gotten a touchdown the last couple of weeks, you haven't been nearly as happy with his performance. It's been, up and down, and with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, I definitely think that's hurts. Godwin came back, he looked okay, but I don't know. I'm not super happy to be having to start a Bucks wide receiver now.
Yeah, we want Baker back, and we want him now. Yeah. Let's move on to the next guy here. JJ McCarthy does he suck or is he injured? I don't know. Minnesota decided for us. He's on concussion protocol, or so they tell us. And the third string guy come in, Brock Osman or something like that.
Wilder, is it?
I don't know. He's wild for sure. Hey, I don't know, man. For my JJ or my Jetta's stocks, I hope he's good, because I need to check that portfolio on how much Jettas I have now, but it doesn't feel good rolling him out week after week and just getting a dime from him, if you're lucky. And
I was about to say, if that. That's it's Max Brosmer. I was just looking up right now. Complete rookie.
Undrafted, right?
Undrafted. Yeah, I think so. So I don't know. I mean, that seems like a perfect situation to go. They go pick somebody up or something. I don't know. But the splits with JJ McCarthy for Justin Jefferson have not been very kind. I think the worst performances he's had has been with JJ McCarthy, even back with like the Nick Mullins days of like that year, like Kirk Cousins got hurt. So I don't know. You always say it can't be worse, and obviously it can, but I don't know how much worse it can be.
Yeah, I hope they bring someone in, because I mean, I need it. I need it so bad. I need Justin Jefferson to be good, please. And then I don't want to linger on JJ McCarthy too long, because 9 has not been good. But the Pats too also had 2 offensive linemen lost to injury. It sounds like their rookie stud offensive lineman, who was playing really well this year, it sounds bad, like he got carted off the field. I haven't really followed up on it or what it's been, but that can't be good for Drake May, who's already been under pressure a lot, like we talked about last episode. And, for Travion Henderson trying to do what he can, maybe he bounces outside more. I don't know. It's probably not going to be good for that offense now moving forward, but keep your fingers on that pulse to kind of see where that goes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then for some other Week 13 news that we've had so far this week, Omari and Hampton's practice window got open, which is great news. I have Hampton in a few places and could use him down the stretch here.
Are you plugging him straight back into your lineup if he's active? Let's say he practices maybe limited, and then a full on Friday. Are you just full go, or are you a little bit hesitant? You want to wait a week? Obviously, this kind of depends on like your situation, right? Like, do you need it? Or like, what's going on? But you personally, how are you feeling?
So I have him in 3 places, right? One's a best ball league, so I don't got to worry about it there. The second one is the Megalodon, and I have pretty good depth there. I've been able to kind of cover up for Hampton. I think I have like Etienne, Judkins, and something else there, maybe like a Jalen Warren or something. I can't remember. So I could probably wait a week there, and then in my other league, I'm like out of it. So it's like I'll plug him in because like I don't have my pick for next year, so I'm just trying to make it worse so, for the guy that I gave it to. Yeah, I'll plug him in and see where it goes. But if I needed a win, I don't, yeah, I think so. Like, I guess it also depends on the situation if I need a ceiling play or a floor play. But
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think I only have him in one spot, and it's a pretty do or die matchup. It's I think I'm the 3 seed going against like the 4 seed, and he'd probably catch me if I didn't hit the median. And I've been starting guys like Tyrone Tracy, Kareem Hunt, while he's been a starter Manungai. I did the Bill experience for a few weeks. That was horrible. And then obviously I did have Vidal, but that was also, pretty brutal, the ups and downs there. So I think if he gets any full practices in whatsoever, I'm probably just going to throw him
yeah,
out there and just hope. I mean, it can't be worse than the other options that I have, like a Vidal who would be splitting time with Hampton, who doesn't have nearly as much explosive ability, and then the other guys are all timeshare guys. One guy I wanted to mention I guess as we're going through the news, Pacheco's slated to be back on Thursday on Thanksgiving. Are you Hunt's been actually pretty decent. Do you think Hunt's taking that job kind of like Rico Dowdle, or do you think Pacheco kind of gets back in there? Is it just a gross committee? Like how do you feel about that?
I think it's a gross committee. Hunt, like when you look at the usage splits with Pacheco in there, I mean it only spiked when Pacheco got hurt. So I'm not high on either one of them, to be honest. Like it's if you need to plug in one of them, like I'd rather probably plug in Hunt and hope for a touchdown because I mean he's the goal line back. But I mean Pacheco can be explosive, but yeah, I mean he's injured and it hasn't been great. So
100%.
Yeah, speaking of desperation plays, Kevin Stefanski named Shadur the starter out of spite, or I don't know. Maybe he got forced into it by ownership. Maybe they did when they drafted him.
Yeah, that whole thing, man. I don't know what to make of it. It didn't look great. I don't know. I saw some kind of mixed reviews of what people were saying about his performance. He had that pretty bad pick, and then the rest of the game was just kind of seemed game managery to me. Like you have Myles Garrett about to break every record possible. Probably you have one of the best defenses in the league. You really don't need to go out there and do too much to get wins against most teams. So I mean the Browns have nothing else. Like Shadur, I don't think was like a conspiracy to drop him that low. I think he just was not rated highly as an NFL quarterback. So I mean, what do they have to lose? Clearly Dylan Gabriel wasn't it. I don't think Watson's playing for them ever again. Like they need to try to figure it out or know if they need to draft another quarterback with a top pick. So might as well give Shadur. He sells probably some jerseys, gets some more clicks and views. So might as well. What else? What else do they have to do out there in Brownsville?
Yeah, I mean the line, for hunting box scores wasn't great. He had some pretty good plays. There was one where he escaped a sack, rolled out of the pocket, and then hit his guy downfield, which set him up for a goal line rush. I think he threw that to Isaiah Bond or something like that. And then the touchdown that he threw to was pretty nice. I don't know, man. He's shown flashes. It's just hard to root for the guy because he's just so unlikable in the media. But I don't know. Maybe he's good, and maybe Stefanski just hates him. And we're dealing with a bitter head coach not playing the best player for whatever reason. I don't know. So, and I don't know. That story is still to be told. But is there any more you want to say on Shadur before we move on here?
Nah, man, we're good.
Okay. Joe Burrow expected to play on Thursday. I'm shocked, man. I don't know.
You're about to get smothered by a pillow, I think, at this point.
I think so, man. I still am not buying it. Is it weird that I'm like
until Joe Burrow's out there actually playing, and even then you're gonna be like, wait, is that really him? Did they clone him? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's clearly Joe Flacco. They just gave him iced tips and a really tight Cavaliers jersey. He looks exactly like Joe. I don't know, man. Why? Like, even if they win this game against the Ravens, that still puts them two games behind, 3 games behind the Ravens. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get why they're risking their franchise quarterback to chase what feels like a lost season, and they don't even have T Higgins this week either. So it seems like a lost effort.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thought is they have 2 back-to-back games basically versus the Ravens, I think, like or there's another game in sandwiched in between there, and the Steelers. I guess if they win out and they get the right things, they're looking like they can sneak into the playoffs. But I'm not really sure that's what they're looking for. I mean, there's a lot of better teams out there that look way more prepared to make a run. So I don't know. It's weird, but I would also probably guess that Joe Burrow is having a big part in that, like a big push to play. He seems like the type of guy that doesn't really want to continue to waste his career away, right? It's kind of seeming like, he had that magic run to the Super Bowl, and ever since then it's just been injury, and not really being able to get out there and display what he can do. So, yeah, I mean, it's wild, but you could also see it go away where they like lose a couple more games and then they shut him down for the rest of the season. So if you got Flacco out there, if you can stash him, hold on to him. I definitely would, especially in Superflex. I know I had been plugging him in, and I'm going to have to start. I don't know, I think Trevor Lawrence, which is kind of rough, and especially with Lamar, who, we're also talking about with the Ravens, has been real bad. I think that was one of the points we were going to talk about, just how awful Lamar, since coming back from his injury, has been, right? If we wanted to get into kind of the data dump here.
Yeah, I'll still
one's
go buy Flacco at this point. I'll go send a fourth for him, stash him, because like you said, I think he's coming back. But yeah, Lamar here, the first one says he has scored 28 and a half fantasy points over his last 3 games combined. That's on average. What are we talking here? 8 point or 9? Yeah, 9.3, something like that. Not great, Bob. And then Jameis Winston scored 32.2 points by himself on Sunday alone.
Yeah, I mean that James. What stat did I see? I think I posted a meme about it. I think it was like receiving touchdowns in November, and it was AJ Brown 1 and Jameis Winston 1. It's just like it's just the most Jameis Winston thing. I don't know if you guys haven't seen it, please go watch his receiving touchdown. He breaks like 2 tackles, does like the slowest old man spin move away from a tackler into the ends. It was just wild. But yeah, man,
He's so fun.
on the opposite side of the Ravens, Derrick Henry has actually, been pretty decent since his kind of real low in the middle of the season. And one thing that's been pretty surprising that we have here is like his target share, which was not something Derrick Henry for. I never really understood why he wasn't a guy that caught passes. Like,
Right.
I know he's not the super shifty, but like if he's struggling to get it going on the ground, why can't you get Derrick Henry the ball out in space like you want everybody else, right? So yeah, I mean, he's seen 11, 8, and 10% target share over the last 3 games, right? Across his 8 games prior to this stretch, he only had a 6%. So it's definitely going up. I mean, instead of getting Justice Hill the ball,
Thank
just
God.
give it to Derrick Henry. Like why, like why not, right? Like I don't really see what you have to lose. He can catch the ball very clearly, so
Yeah.
that's been positive to see from Derrick Henry on the opposite side of what the Ravens are doing on offense.
Yeah, he does feel like one of those guys that, needs a head of steam to kind of get going. And maybe that's the thought process is throwing him the ball. He has to stop, catch it, and then go. And he's just slow to accelerate. But yeah, man, I want to see more of Derrick Henry. He looked good last week, but he did it on touchdowns. So maybe Lamar and Derrick can find their way here going forward. But yeah, the next guy, Luther Burden, saw a 16.7% target share against the Steelers, and he's seen his 2 highest target shares of the season in back-to-back games now. And he's also had his 2 best route shares during that time frame, which has been 61% in both games. I mean, 16.7% target share is very modest, but it's growing, and that role is it's getting larger. But it's also weird that we saw DJ Moore kind of have a breakout game this week, and it just goes to show that there's just too many mouths to feed in that offense, and their growth of target share came at Roma Dunze's expense. So I'd rather give it to Rome and have these guys sit down.
Yeah, I mean, Zacchaeus or whatever his name is also involved. You got the tight ends, Komet, as well as uh, Colson
Loveland.
Loveland, who's also getting in there. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a little bit of Lions-esque with just a little bit lesser talent.
And more mouths.
Yeah. So, I mean, they all seem to be growers, not showers. So, they're growing into it. Yeah, I mean, let's stick, in that division. Justin Jefferson. I mean, we kind of talked about JJ McCarthy, so maybe we can kind of lump these two in there. But I mean, even in full PPR, he's only averaging 11.7 per games when JJ McCarthy's out there, and he was at 16.3 without McCarthy. So that was the Wentz. And he never fell below 12 points in full PPR in a single game when JJ McCarthy wasn't at quarterback. So, that kind of goes with also JJ McCarthy has scored 6 or fewer standard fantasy points in half of his starts this year. I mean, that's abysmal. That's like you'd be rather starting a tight end or some another running back in your super flex at that point if you've had to start JJ McCarthy. I mean, in single quarterback, I don't think anybody's been that desperate, but yeah, man. I mean, for the Vikings, I mean, we talked about it in our episode down the stretch, but I don't know if it matters how good the schedule is if JJ McCarthy continues to play quarterback. I mean, it's a concussion this week. It doesn't feel like it's a Kyler thing where they can just be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, he's on IR. Like you can't IR him for a concussion, but I don't know, man. It's
just watch him.
It's wild. Like I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, it's not working at all. So it's rough.
He's got a sprained brain ligament. It's he's
something, man. He's been rushed to the 9 is on he's on the respirator or something. I don't know.
I don't want who put this in the doc. I don't want to talk about this. let's get on to this next guy here.
This is a more positive news.
Travion Henderson played 46 snaps for Ramondre's 22. This was Stevens, Ramondre's first game back from injury. So it's hard to know if they were just limiting his snaps or if Henderson has, garnered himself a larger role in that backfield. Henderson also ran 22 routes to Ramondre's 9, which he finished week 12 with a 72% running back rush share and a 12% target share. Those are great numbers for any kind of running back. But I think we need another week to see if this is sticky or not.
Yeah, I mean, those are great numbers. They did not play nearly as well as you thought. Maybe it had to do with the O-line stuff that we talked about, but all of that, and I think full PPR only amounted to 11 points or so for Henderson. So it's still pretty modest. I mean, if it can continue that way, you'd be happy because you're wanting to start him for that big play that he can always break. But I think the O-line stuff we talked about is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on because that's going to affect the whole offense. And it's not something that a lot of fantasy, are normally always plugged into because it's kind of more NFL news. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I think if we get another week like this, I think it's, you'll be pretty happy for the Henderson if you're a Henderson manager, but it's still, I think, TBD.
Yeah. The nice part is that they have a really easy schedule for running backs. So
we talked about it 100%.
Yeah, hopefully that can kind of keep Travion moving here. So another running back who had a great game, Chase Brown, 3 straight games without Samaje Perine, and in those contests he's seen route shares of 86%, 83%, and 77% with target shares of 31, 21, and 12%, averaging 19.6 PPR points per game over his last 4. He's been an absolute animal. Joe Flacco has just revived him from the dead because it was bad. It was really bad. And the funny thing is the offensive line, which was credited for him being bad in the beginning of the season, hasn't changed. It's literally just been Joe Flacco replacing Joe Burrow. So I don't know if Joe Burrow comes back and sees what Joe Flacco is doing and tries to implement some of that. That'd be great because it wasn't good with Joe Burrow back there to begin the season.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what you drafted Chase Brown to be, right at that 2-3 turn a lot of times in redraft, and now he's kind of finally giving you that production. If you were able to stick with him, I mean, who knows where your team is if you stuck with Chase Brown at this point, because he was probably a key piece. But yeah, I think it's good to see. It will be interesting, like you said, with Joe Burrow coming back, and how does the offense look? Because it definitely has a different. It goes a different way when Joe Burrow's out there, for sure.
Yeah, it just feels like there's a lot more to worry about with Joe Flacco in the pocket because he gets rid of the ball so quick. So I don't know, man. I hope Chase can still keep it together. If he doesn't, like, I'm still kind of in on Chase Brown. I don't know where his value will go in the offseason, if it'll kind of follow that same narrative it did last time, but I don't think they're going to draft a running back. They might maybe add someone in free agency, but I don't see them spending capital in the offense. Unless it's an offensive lineman. It better be an offensive lineman. All right, here we go on this next running back here, Jahmyr Gibbs, seeing target shares of 22 and 32% over his last two games. His 55.4 PPR points in Week 12 was the third most from a running back since 2011. Per Next Gen Stats, he had 145 rushing yards over expected. That's wild, dude. That's like, you could take like the next two running backs behind him, and he probably had more rushing yards over expected than those two running backs had in their total game. The highest single game mark for any running back in 2025. Jahmyr Gibbs is so good, dude. It's literally David Montgomery, which is kind of just cucking him into the corner over here. And now that we finally get him going, it's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like the roles are reversed now. Gibbs is putting him in the cut chair in the corner and saying, look what I can do. Because, yeah, I mean, I've always felt this way. I felt this way coming out of college. I thought I liked Gibbs better, just purely as an NFL running back over Bijan. Bijan went top 6 overall. Like, he's got the hype, and Bijan is his own animal in his own right. But Gibbs just has that right? It's like the CMC's, Jonathan Taylor, like that level of like, he can make it happen any single play. And even the ones that look bad, like the ones I'm most impressed about, obviously, like the 40 plus yards, reception or runs are always amazing. But those ones where he gets like a swing pass and he's like 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and he makes like 2 guys miss to gain like 9 yards, right? It's not flashy, but you just see the brilliance in his running, his ability to make guys move, his speed. It's amazing. And I think you're kind of seeing what everybody sees, and the Lions are kind of, and Dan Campbell calling plays, right? I don't know his last 2 games. I don't know if that was when Dan Campbell took over play calling or if he took over play calling a little bit before, but I think Dan Campbell's realizing, like, I love Monty. Monty's still going to be a part of it, but if we want to make another playoff push, if we want to, maybe make it to a Super Bowl, Gibbs has to be an important part, because he is, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, the best player on the team, offensively speaking. And it's just dumb to not have him out there, right? It's dumb to not get him 15 plus touches, no matter how good Monty is, no matter whatever. Like, not using your best weapon is dumb. And I think they're kind of realizing that. And it's awesome. I'm hoping that this carries me like it did last year when Monty got hurt to another Toe Clan championship. I mean, he's the reason I won this week. Otherwise, I mean, I would have lost in Toe Clan. It would have been my first losses. So it was awesome to just see him do what he did.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, and I think this is the third game with Dan Campbell calling the shot here, because we saw 2 good games with JMO before he goosed this last week when I started him, by the way.
Yeah.
Good times. But no, yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs is so good. I wish I had him in more places. All right, we only have a couple minutes left here, so let's pick out a couple of good ones here. Wan'Dale Robinson's been really good. His target share has been great. Ashton Genty has also seen great target shares, hitting 20, 21%, and 19% over his last 3 games. Couple that with Trey McBride in his 6 games with Jacoby Brissett hasn't scored fewer than 16.5 PPR points. Trey McBride, I mean, is pretty locked in for tight end 1 on the season here. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where Brock Bowers falls back into all of this at the end of the season. Any thoughts on those guys really quick?
No, I mean it's awesome. I mean McBride has just really benefited from Brissett as quarterback, and Brissett in the super flex, or if you're still got a trade window open, I don't think anybody's valuing him very high, and maybe you lost Joe Flacco or whoever, you need a second kind of guy. I'm definitely looking at Brissett as another one of those guys. I'll throw a third or a fourth at to try to go win a championship. I mean, it seems like I've been looking to see if there's any official reports, but besides it just being talk, but it sounds like Kyler's not going to start even when healthy. I haven't seen anything official. Like maybe they're just not saying that, but that's the whispers, or that's what it seems like. So I think you'd be pretty safe with Brissett for the rest of the season there as quarterback. And yeah, I mean he's done nothing but good things for McBride.
The team looks different, man. They're playing different, and not just their offense. It's like their defense too. It's like I feel like the team wants Brissett. Are you buying the narrative that he could be their starter next season?
Yeah, I mean that's like I mean I think there's a drumbeat of that for a reason. I don't know how much it is 100% from the Cardinals or just hopeful thinking from people, but I mean if they don't have a top pick, which looks like they're going to play themselves out of it, they've won enough games, and they don't, they're going to be shackled by Kyler Murray's contract, whether they cut him or not. It could be a transition year where you pay a third or a fourth right now, and you have a super flex starter going into next year who looks, very serviceable, very,
Yeah.
Even to good. I mean, you're talking about top 12 performances in all 6 of his starts this year. I mean, that's not good. That's very good. I mean, you weren't getting that from Kyler. You're not getting that from Trevor Lawrence. Like a lot of these quarterbacks, you're not, getting that sort of performance from. So, I mean, it could be just a flash of the pan, but, I'm willing to pay a third or a fourth to see that and see what happens in the future.
I think so too. I'm wondering if a third even gets it done at this point, though. Like, honestly, I'd throw 2/3 at him if I needed a quarterback this year, and hope for the best. I have Kyler and Brissett in the same league, and I'm just kind of hoping that stock splits and I get dividends on both ends there. All right, man. Let's roll this into the outro here. We're running a little bit long. It's been fun. Week 12 in the books. Hopefully you guys got those W's and eating them like Jameis. But if not, week 13 is a new week, and you guys can keep fighting, keep clawing, scratch your way into those playoffs. Hopefully you guys got it locked in already, and you got those buys coming your way. In the redraft leagues, make sure you're looking for those defenses, and stashing them now is the time to do that. But yeah, hey man, week 13, we will see you guys on the other side. And Jose, man, sign us off, bud.
Yep, as always, guys, thank you for watching and following along. If you can subscribe and hit that like button on YouTube, comment, rate the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we're out.